So next I'm going to cover electronic income withholding order, or eIWO. Michael went over the income withholding order with a hard copy document, but you also have the ability to receive that document electronically. I know in live presentations, there's always at least one or two employees that have already enrolled. So I would ask you if there are any employees that are attending that are enrolled in electronic income withholding order, can you share in the Q&A what you like the best since you've enrolled in eIWO, how it's made processing the income withholding order easier for you. So if you can share it with your peers here that may be thinking about enrolling in eIWO. So I want to think about you to think about some of the benefits and how much time you've saved since enrolling. Employers have shared with me in previous workshops that since they've enrolled in eIWO, it has pushed them to become paperless in other aspects of their business because it has helped streamline the child support process. So in this section, I'm going to go over how you can register for the eIWO process, as well as the different options that are available to you. And then we will go over what those acknowledgements will look like, and then I'm going to share with you some additional resources. So what is eIWO? eIWO is going to allow you to receive that income withholding order electronically. It will also allow you to, an additional way to notify the child support agency if your employee is going to be receiving a bonus or a lump sum payment, or if your employee has been terminated from your company. And then you'll also be able to accept or reject any of those income withholding orders. Next slide. So some additional benefits, if you are receiving that income withholding order electronically, and if you're also making your payments to the state disbursement unit electronically, which I'll share with you later in the presentation, but the child support payment will ultimately get to the family sooner. Employers have already shared with me, but that since they've enrolled in eIWO, it has saved them time, money, and resources. And another benefit is that you only have to enroll in the electronic income withholding order process one time. And if you receive income withholding orders from multiple states, you will then begin receiving all those income withholding orders electronically. And this will help increase the accuracy and reliability of the data. And there's no cost to you when you enroll in the eIWO process. Next slide. So the registration, it does include an agreement to process income withholding orders electronically. So to register, you will accept this agreement that's on the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement on their website. And then you will also include the Federal Employer Identification Number spreadsheet. Next slide. The diagram provided here, this illustrates the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement's electronic income withholding order process. This will be extremely helpful for your IT personnel because it shows how that eIWO is sent to the employer from the child support agencies and then how it is batched for each employer. Then each of the batches are sent to the employer, and then you are able to respond to each of those electronic income withholding orders with the acknowledgements, and then each of those batches are sent back to the respective states. So please share this slide with your IT personnel. Next slide. So there are two options for employers to choose to implement. First, there is the system interface. This does require some IT resources for programming, but it is the best option for employers that receive a high volume of income withholding orders. The second option is the no programming option. When employers are enrolled in the no programming option, you will receive a PDF of each of those income withholding orders. And this is optimal for employers that receive a low volume of income withholding orders, but it's a very simple implementation. Next slide. So for employers that are looking to implement the system-to-system option, the estimated time to go live from enrolling until you start receiving those income withholding orders electronically is approximately 3 to 5 months. So this is another slide to make note of to share with your IT personnel. Next slide. So the no programming option, it does offer two options for employers to select to meet. So that's going to best meet your needs. Option one, you will receive a PDF of each of those income withholding orders, but the major difference is that the acknowledgement will be received as a PDF, and this one is best for employers that have about 600 or more employees. And then option two, this is best suited for the small or medium-sized employers, and the the acknowledgement will be sent to you on an Excel spreadsheet. Next slide. The first example shown here, this is of the PDF acknowledgement. So the top portion of the income withholding acknowledgement, this will include the type of income withholding order that you are receiving. If it's an original, an amended, a one-time lump sum, or a termination of that income withholding order. And then in the PDF acknowledgement will also include your employee's case identifier, as well as your employee's first name, last name, middle initial, and their social security number. And then you'll also see your company's federal employee identification number on here as well. Then in the income withholding order disposition status section, this is where you are able to accept or reject that income withholding order and then select the disposition reason code. The second sample shown here, this is of the Excel acknowledgement. This, on the Excel acknowledgement, you will also see the type of income withholding order that you are receiving in column B. If it's an original, an amended, a one-time lump sum income withholding order, or a termination of that income withholding order. And then this will also include your employee's case identifier, as well as your employee's name, first and last name, social security number, and your company's federal employee identification number. In column K of the acknowledgement, this is where you can accept or reject that income withholding order, and then include the disposition reason code in column L. Next slide. So the sample shown here, this is of the employer-initiated acknowledgement. This form is used to report a one-time lump sum payment or a termination of employment. If you are reporting a one-time lump sum payment, provide the lump sum date, as well as the lump sum amount and the type of lump sum that your employee is going to be receiving as soon as you know that that employee is going to be receiving that payout. And then if you're reporting a termination of employment, provide the termination date, as well as your employee's last known phone number, as well as last known home address. And then also we need to know the date that you're going to be remitting that final payment to the state disbursement unit and the amount. Another piece of helpful information for the child support agency is going to be that new employer's name and address. This is going to be helpful to make sure that income withholding order is able to be generated either electronically if that employer is an eIWO employer, or that income withholding order can be sent to that new employer as well. Next slide. So each day, the child support agency will receive an email that includes a processing summary, and that's on what's shown on the left-hand side of this slide. On the right-hand side of the slide, this is an example of the email that the employer will receive daily. And this is also going to be helpful to share with your IT personnel or anyone that is going to be receiving the email daily from the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement. Next slide. So when preparing for the electronic income withholding order, this slide includes the types of Adobe and servers that are required. This is also going to be very helpful to share with your IT personnel. The next steps in preparing for the electronic income withholding order includes completing the profile form on the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement, as well as the Federal Employer Identification Number spreadsheet. Then that will be followed by setting up connectivity, and then the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement will conduct a test to make sure that your company is receiving the files correctly, and then you will begin receiving those income withholding orders electronically. So the eIWO resource that I provided here includes the web address that will take you directly to the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement's eIWO page, as well as the email address for the eIWO team. On this page, it does have some additional information on both the system-to-system option and the no programming option, so you can select the best one that's going to fit your company's needs. And when you're ready to enroll, send an email over to the eIWO team, let them know which option that you're interested in, and they will help set you up with the process from beginning to your sending your test files until your go live date. Next slide. So now I'm going to turn it back over to, actually I'm going to turn it over to Sonia from Ventura County Child Support Services to go over the National Medical Support Notice. Thank you.